introduction to the design exercises. These design exercises are here as a guide to get you started in doing the design project. So it's recommended that you sit down with your group and you could actually go through this. Right? Design exercises, you would see 1, 2, and 3, and it breaks up the project into these 3 components. This here is an example of a design project that is similar to what you have to design. It's a toolkit, right? And then we have the requirements. Right, so you could see the design methodology is listed um, as in the design report, right? You'll also see the solution for it given on Canvas, right? And go through exactly, how to pull the design requirements from the statement that is made, right? So you have the functions, requirements, validation criteria, etc. So you would go through this on your own or with your group and determine, okay, then what is the decision matrix? What are the rankings, etc. Right? You don't have to physically do it, but it's just a guide as to see how it is being done, right? After you come up with your final design, in this case here, I selected this as my final design. You would go on to design exercise 2, right? So you could see here that the ticks represent that what was done or what would have been done in design exercise 1. Design exercise 2 is where you need to perform the calculations, right? So I have here as a recap of some strength calculations, how to go about calculating the stresses in each um, component. Also using the failure theories, the static failure theory that we did, how you would go about ensuring that the sizes here are appropriate sizes for these members, be it a wrong section or a square section. So the video would go through that. Stability calculation, remember this is a toolkit, and then also in your case, there's some element, your project would be selected such that there's some moving element to it, right? So if you were to push it, in this case, if you were to push the toolkit, we want to make sure the toolkit doesn't tip over and fall with the tools on it, right? And then there's part 3 here where there's an Excel solution. So how can you use Excel now to speed up your design process, right? You would tell that the calculations, since if all the members are the same, well then all the calculations should be the same. It's just repetitive, right? So these 3 videos in part 1, part 2, part 3 would go through in that step-by-step process. Also how to go about doing it. And then finally now, at the end, you would see after we do the calculation, then and you actually design the component, we need to do engineering product drawings to actually define or show how we're going to go about building this thing if we have to. Right, so you all would have done SolidWorks already. Right, so the video attached here will show now how you could go about doing the drawing and how to assemble a drawing. Because using SolidWorks is one aspect. We need to take that SolidWorks model and represent it in 3 orthographic projection views, dimensioning, nodes, title, borders, annotations like describing, how would you connect the wheels, for example, to the member here. Is this being bolted up here? So we need to represent all that in the drawing, right? And the video would speak to these things, right? So these are the 3 elements the 3 major elements, and then I have here a kind of an example or solution to this design for this toolkit, and you can apply the same method to your design project for your group. Okay, so that is it for the introduction to the design exercise.